The galaxy did not fear humanity. It pitied us. For 300 years. Every major civilization looked at Earth and saw the same thing. A small world, a fragile species, a diplomatic race that avoided conflict at all costs. Humans signed treaties. Humans sent aid ships. Humans mediated wars. Humans smiled. And the entire galaxy mistook that smile for weakness. That mistake would become the most expensive mistake in galactic history, because on the day Earth stopped pretending to be weak, the stars themselves learned what fear truly meant. The year was 2847. The Galactic Dominion controlled over 12,000 star systems. Their fleets were unstoppable. Their armies were legendary. Entire civilizations surrendered the moment Dominion warships appeared in orbit. Resistance was considered suicide. Then they arrived at Earth. Supreme Commander Varrock stood on the bridge of his flagship and stared at the blue planet below. His officers laughed. Are the famous humans? The diplomats? The peacekeepers? They won't even fight. Varrock smiled. Neither would he. At least that was what he thought. The Dominion's demand was simple. Earth would surrender all strategic resources. Earth would submit to military occupation. Earth would become another obedient colony. Failure would result in planetary destruction. The ultimatum was broadcast across every continent. The entire galaxy watched. Billions expected humanity to surrender. After all, humans always chose peace. For 12 hours, Earth remained silent. No response. No threats. No negotiations. Nothing. The silence confused everyone. Then Earth's representative finally appeared on every screen in the galaxy. President Evelyn Ross. She looked calm, almost disappointed. She studied the Dominion fleet for several seconds, then she spoke. Are you absolutely certain this is your final decision? Varrock laughed. The question sounded desperate. Yes, the president nodded. Then humanity accepts. Celebrations erupted throughout the Dominion fleet. The galaxy sighed. Another conquest completed. Another weak civilization defeated. Then President Ross continued speaking, and every celebration stopped. We accept that diplomacy has failed. We accept that peace is no longer possible. And we accept that the masquerade must finally end. Varrock frowned. Masquerade? The transmission ended. No explanation. No warning. Just silence. Again. Exactly 3 minutes later, every Dominion ship lost power. Simultaneously. Thousands of warships. Thousands of reactors. Thousands of advanced systems. Dead. The impossible had happened. Panic spread through the fleet. Engineers searched desperately for answers. There were none. Then a new message arrived. One sentence. Phase 1 complete. Varrock felt fear for the first time in his life, because nobody knew who had sent it. Far beneath Earth's surface. Hidden under mountains. Buried beneath oceans. Concealed inside forgotten regions of the solar system. Ancient doors began opening. Facilities that had remained secret for centuries awakened. Humanity's true military emerged from the shadows. Massive fleets, experimental weapons, artificial intelligence, networks. Technologies considered impossible by galactic science. For centuries, humanity had hidden its strength, not because it was weak, because it was dangerous. Humans understood something most civilizations never learned. Power attracts war. so humanity concealed its power. Until now, within hours, Dominion scouts reported unbelievable sightings. Entire fleets materializing from empty space. Warships larger than moons. Weapons capable of manipulating gravity itself. And at the center of it all stood a single vessel, the Aegis, humanity's flagship, the largest warship ever constructed. Its appearance alone shattered enemy morale. Barak stared at tactical displays. The numbers made no sense. No civilization should possess this level of military capability. No civilization could hide it. Yet humanity had. For centuries. And nobody had noticed. The Dominion launched a full assault. Thousands of ships opened fire, enough firepower to destroy worlds. Enough energy to erase continents. The galaxy expected Earth to burn. Instead, the attacks vanished. Not blocked. Not absorbed. Vanished. Human scientists had mastered controlled spatial folding. Enemy weapons never reached their targets. Space itself swallowed them. The Dominion attacked again. And again. And again. Nothing worked. For the first time in hundreds of years, the conquerors found themselves helpless. But humanity wasn't finished. Because defense had never been the plan. This was merely the introduction. Captain Marcus Hall stood aboard the Aegis. He had spent 20 years preparing for this exact moment. Not because humanity wanted war. Because humanity knew someone would eventually force it upon them. He looked at the Dominion fleet. Then he issued a single command. Reveal everything. Across thousands of systems. Human assets activated. Hidden stations. Secret alliances. Dormant networks. The galaxy suddenly discovered an uncomfortable truth. Humanity was everywhere. Not as conquerors, not as rulers, but as guardians. For centuries, humans had quietly protected trade routes, prevented genocides, stopped disasters, and saved civilizations that never even knew they were being saved. The galaxy had mistaken kindness for weakness. Now they understood the difference. Barak made one final attempt, a desperate strike aimed directly at Earth. If he could destroy the planet, perhaps victory remained possible. The attack force accelerated toward humanity's homeworld. Millions watched. Billions prayed. Then Captain Hall did something nobody expected. He personally piloted a small vessel directly into the enemy formation, alone. One ship against thousands. Every tactical officer thought he was insane. Maybe he was, but humans had always been willing to do the impossible when everything was at stake. Hal reached the center of the Dominion fleet. He activated a classified DEVICE, a weapon never before used. A weapon built only for humanity's darkest day. The stars flashed. Space trembled, and every Dominion vessel instantly lost the ability to travel, communicate, or fight. Not destroyed. Disabled. Completely. The battle ended in less than 3 seconds. The galaxy stood frozen. The unstoppable Dominion had fallen. Not because humanity possessed greater numbers. Not because humanity sought conquest, but because humanity had prepared. Patiently. Quietly. For centuries. Barak surrendered. There was no alternative. As he signed the surrender documents, he asked the question haunting every civilization. Why hide your strength for so long? President Ross answered without hesitation. Because power exists to protect, not to intimidate. And because the moment power becomes something you need to prove, you have already become weak. The war ended, the Dominion dissolved, a new era began. Off out the galaxy, one lesson was never forgotten. When humans offer peace, accept it. When humans choose diplomacy, respect it, because if humanity ever stops pretending to be weak. It means every peaceful option has already been exhausted, and that is the moment even empires learn to fear. For humanity's greatest strength was never its weapons, never its fleets. Never its technology. It was the unbreakable will to endure. To protect. To survive. And as history would forever remember, the universe feared humanity's power, but it was humanity's restraint that made them truly dangerous.